Hey,
Hello, we're back
Lisa.
again. Hi.
Woo, good morning. Yay.
Another day being positive. How was
Absolutely.
how was your weekend? Were you positive?
Yes, it was an awesome, awesome weekend. I really, really enjoyed it. I did. I was going to tell you something, and you know what? I forgot. What did I do over the weekend?
Weren't you going on a walk?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. It was a walkathon for NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. It was pouring and it was lightning and thunder. They did have tents so that we could, everybody could be under the tents, but we were all stayed positive and we were astounded. Well, I have to confess I wasn't that astounded, but most people were. The sun came out just when it was time to walk. The rain stopped. We all went on our walkathon. I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. Came back. It was still sunny. And then all of a sudden, this huge breeze came and it started to pour again. And we were like so happy we got to walk because we all stayed positive. And we still said,
There
we're
you go.
determined to do the walkathon no matter what. So,
Ah,
yeah, it was great. It was really good.
wow. There you go. Positive
Yeah,
mental attitude.
yes. In
Yeah.
today's reading, I really like the name Ups and Down. Elisha
Okay.
Otis, persistence. And
Okay.
when
Oh, persistence is my favorite principle.
yeah, and it's interesting because Otis is the elevator, you
Yeah,
know,
they're all over the world.
and it's ups and downs.
No, I get it.
All right, let's read.
Okay, let's get the
You
book.
want to start today?
Sure. Okay. I just need to move that. Okay. Ups and downs. Elisha Otis's persistence. A great idea alone isn't nearly enough to make you successful. Successful. Bar rooms and locker rooms everywhere are filled with would-be achievers who dream of greatness but give up too easily. Elisha Graves Otis had a great idea for a braking system for an elevator, but he quickly learned that having a breakthrough idea was worthless if he couldn't break through the complacency of those who had a vested interest in the status quo.
At the time, freight hoists were already in fairly widespread use, but most people wouldn't ride in them because they were afraid that the ropes would break. As a result, it was generally agreed that the maximum height of a building would always be limited to 4 to 5 stories. Most people could conveniently climb. Could you imagine? Wow. In
Wow.
1852, Otis built a freight hoist from the Yonkers in New York, Beds- Bedstead Manufacturing Company, where he was a master mechanic. But he made one small deviation from standard procedure. He added a simple braking device. Otis immediately recognized the benefits the elevator offered. The problem was nobody else seemed to notice or care. A year or so after he invented the clever little braking device and started his own company to manufacture elevators, he was still struggling to get attention to his idea. Finally, in one of the most brilliant public relationship moves in American business history, Otis built a tower at the first ever World's Fair, which opened in New York in 1853. As thousands of spectators held their breath, he climbed to the top of the tower, stood at the top of the elevator platform, and shouted the command to the workman below: "Cut the rope!" It's your turn.
Wow.
I know.
The work Wow. The worker swung his axe and catapulted Elisha Graves Otis into the history books. His break held, and the thousands of people who witnessed the spectacle and the millions more who later read about it realized that the very first safe elevator had arrived. It was 3 more years, however, before developers began to recognize that they could charge a premium for upper floors instead of using them for storage space. It was still another 11 years before passenger elevators were installed in New York office buildings, ushering in the age of the skyscraper and forever changing the way millions of us live and work.
Wow. Next time you have a flash of inspiration, don't give up just because everyone else immediately doesn't. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to start again. Next time you have a flash of inspiration, don't give up just because everyone else doesn't immediately recognize its value. Stick with it until the rest of the world finally comes around. One man who understood this principle was Chester F. Carlson, an inventor who wanted to find a way to make better copies. At that time, the only way to make copies was to use wet, messy, photostatic processes. Carlson was convinced there had to be a better way. So in 1944, Carlson had developed a workable dry copy technique, and with the help of the Battle Memorial Institute, tried to attract the interest of a manufacturing company with the resources to make the process commercially visible. Reportedly, they offered the process to most of the leading companies of the day, like General Electric, IBM, RCA, Kodak, and Bell and Howell. Each in turn rejected the offer.
Carlson and Battle didn't give up. They kept trying to sell the process despite all the rejections. Then one day they received a call from the Haloid Company, a small manufacturer in Rochester, New York. Haloid management had seen a trade journal article on the process and was interested. Eventually, an agreement was reached. Soon, Carlson's idea, combined with the management talents of Haloid's Joseph C. Wilson Jr., would result in one of the greatest business success stories ever. Haloid, as you may know, went on to become the huge Xerox Corporation. Carlson's process virtually created a burgeoning multi-billion-dollar industry. When initiative meets perspective, the results can be incredible.
It's persistence. I'm going to ask you to go back and read that last sentence again because it's very powerful.
When initiative meets persistence, the results can be incredible.
Amazing, yes. What would we do without copy machines?
I know.
Could you imagine making copies with wet, sloppy something? Okay. So today's positive action steps. Don't tell others your great idea. Show them. You have to believe in yourself and your ideas before you can expect anybody else to. This is my favorite one. Never give up. Wow. Elevators, copy machines, well, all of that, all of those people, telephones, radios,
Well,
Zoom.
J.K. Rowling, right, the author of Harry Potter, she was rejected, I think, 111 times.
Yeah, good
what
advice.
What does she bring to the world, right?
You know, even The Secret, Rhonda Burns, her too. Yeah. All right, let's go. Never give up.
Never give up. All right. See you tomorrow and have a great day. And, you know, if anything comes up, just persist.
Yes, and don't tell everybody your dreams. Show
That's
them
right.
your dreams. That's
Show
real
them.
important. Yes. All right, have a great day.
All right, you too. See you later.
Bye.
Well, tomorrow. Bye.